different people need different levels of care. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people who get truly addicted that would benefit from all levels of care, but there might be a working professional who's just, drinking, not just, but they're drinking more than they'd like, and it's becoming an issue on not only their health, but, just their lifestyle, and they're dependent. They get anxious and agitated, or the shakes, if they don't. And so, do they need inpatient detox? It would definitely be probably safer and healthier in some ways to have our nourishment. But if they can't, better than nothing to at least do outpatient detox. We have a phenomenal outpatient detox as well. And some people just need a little extra support when they're going through stuff. So an outpatient IOP would be appropriate. So inpatient detox, Diamond Detox, is really designed to help people remove chemical dependencies to whatever drug or alcohol, or even benzo medications and things like that. And to do it safely, medically monitored 24/7, doctor, nurses, things like that, in a very small facility, so it's not a big, overwhelming facility. We've got 5 beds there, and we keep it very individualized and quiet. And so those are people who, again, they're addicted, they're dependent, and stopping on their own is not working very well. They keep trying, their brain takes over, hijacks their decision making before they know they're doing it again. And they've tried outpatient, it hasn't worked. They need to get well, so they come inpatient. The next one is the outpatient detox, called ambulatory detox. That's one, again, where, say that you've got a job and you need inpatient, but maybe there's 3 to 7 days where you want to taper off of your medication prior to the hard withdrawal where you really need inpatient. Let's get you in, let's get an assessment, make sure that you're appropriate for that. You've got some support at home, you've got a supportive job environment. There's some things that are specific to outpatient detox to make sure they're still safe. But if you can do that and then taper down and have some accountability with a nurse check-in daily, then get to the hard part, still be able to work, and then take the week off or the weekend off to do inpatient, right? And that type of thing. So outpatient detox is a great thing for working professionals and those that want to use a long-term taper, not just a rapid thing. And then residential is the next level of care. Residential treatment really is that rehabilitation. It is taking cognitive distortions, it's unhealthy habits, unhealthy routines, unhealthy coping strategies, and trying to remove those, and then removing all addictive substances in our treatment center. That's a very unique part, right? Smoking and coffee and sweets and treats, because we really are desensitizing the amygdala. That we're trying to say, hey, you are losing all your power. You've had power and control over my decisions. I've been making impulsive bad decisions. Let's rehab that part of the brain. Let's add brain foods, essential fatty acids, amino acids, and critical thinking, planning, scheduling, goals, all getting the frontal lobe better. Mindfulness, also improving the space and time between thought and impulse and action, right? Because a lot of us are like, boom, I get the thought and I'm on a run. Where it's like if we had just a few more seconds or a few more minutes to process the consequences out, we'd probably stop ourselves from making bad decisions. And so we got to quiet that part of the brain. And if we don't do that, we're still smoking cigarettes, nicotine, sugar, these things are like top 3 addictive substances known to man. So treatment centers that still allow you to do that, the chances they're going to rehabilitate your addictive impulsive tendencies is very unlikely. And so people need to understand that is why we do that. We're not trying to be harsh or anything. We'll do the stuff that's going to kill you first, maybe like the heroines and the big time stuff first, and we'll give you a 2-week taper off of the cigarettes and stuff. But point being, new lifestyle, new habits, new cognitive therapy, individual therapy, and healthy nutrition through the residential treatment. And that really allows you to find new habits and new coping skills to cope without chemicals. That is the goal. And you're like, F it, I just want to drink, I just want to use, screw it, I'm too stressed, whatever. And then you're mindful enough lately that you can still pause and think like, well, if I do, let me play the tape through. I'm probably going to lose this job that I'm super passionate about, that I'm helping people, or my family, that's a super important purpose in my life. If you have that purpose, it can draw you back from that relapse. So those are important to develop in residential treatment and beyond. So that was the purpose for residential treatment, is all those things, really healing the mind and body and creating new healthy habits. Then once you're done there, day treatment. It's taking those new skills, new life skills, new coping skills, and applying them in your new life. right? Day treatment really is kind of your job for a couple weeks. You can maybe do some part-time, but we really recommend taking all that from residential, now applying it with whether you're at the sober living, you're back at your home or apartment, and you're now implementing, okay, am I still getting up for yoga in the morning, or what is my routine now, right? Manage your time for your own success, and looking at that, processing that with a case manager and a therapist still for a couple weeks. How is that transition into real life again? Are you doing okay? What new stressors have come up? Let's make sure you're supported at least 5 hours a day through that transition, because that's when a lot of relapse happens, right? Because there's so much stress in that transition. You're back with family again, and them, family dynamics are really difficult when it comes to addiction. If they don't understand it, they're like, what are you gonna do if you relapse? What are you gonna, and there's just so much stress around in there. You're just like, I'm gonna relapse if I have to talk to you anymore, right? And so coming back and processing that with a group and therapists, and everybody chuckles, yeah, I get it. Families don't always understand, but they have good intentions, and then you release it and you're okay, right? Instead of festering in that and causing some more problems, right? So day treatment's critical. And then after that is intensive outpatient, or IOP. That is where you've got the skill set, you've got the recovery capital, we call it, you've got a stable job, hopefully, you've got stable housing, so you've got some pretty good roots planted and growing, and you're doing pretty well, and you've got a little bit of sobriety. You've got at least a couple months of sobriety, and then you try that level of care, and then it's just that check-in and accountability and connection. And so having a group for that, and a group therapy and a therapist that runs that they can all be accountable, open and honest, and then they can go through the difference of a slip, a lapse and a relapse type of things, and be accountable to one another, and get UAs still, get breathalyzed still from time to time, those types of things to keep you accountable. It's really a stabilizing level of care, but to continue to learn new coping skills and new life skills along the way, to keep improving your recovery capital, but also continue to improve your life situation, but staying stable and connected. And then after that, usually, we recommend that about 90 days if we can to stay that stabilized position. And then general outpatient, you and the therapist decide, is that one time a month, 2 times a week, what's best for you and your schedule, and go from there. And then it transitions to more alumni. And that's huge. I've researched a lot of programs, and a strong alumni program is one of the biggest factors of success I've found. And so we're growing ours more and more. COVID hurt a little bit on that, but again, the last couple have been really solid, and just having fun and learning how to have sober fun. Because if you can't have fun while you're sober, what's the point? If you can't have fun, you can't enjoy yourself, you can't laugh, can't have new experiences and adventure, what's the point of being sober? And so that alumni is so crucial as that final piece to say, we can have a great and find new passions, new hobbies to replace the old ones, and then hopefully find some meaningful purpose, right? That is the goal that keeps people from relapse, in my opinion.